Video looked like one ESPN analyst, Shanae Agumake, is breaking her silence about the WNBA not hiring in.
An ESPN analyst just criticized the WNBA for not hiring any black head coaches this season. The league brought in 3 coaches with NBA connections, and none of them are black women, sparking a major conversation about who truly paved the way in the league. The timing couldn't be worse for the WNBA's image. Have you ever seen an organization make hiring choices that made you question what they really value? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Shared experience, right? Across, it's not just for coaches. Black women getting the opportunity. And it's not just like, oh, why aren't the black women getting the opportunity? It's also when they do get the opportunity, what is the nurturing of that black woman in that role when she has the opportunity? When this black woman has this seat as head coach, for me, is it she being supported and giving the chance to implement her system? Is she being given feedback? And is her vision and voice being supported? Or is she working within an organization where she's facing opposition? Can you imagine? How can you succeed when you're not getting wind beneath your wings? Or when you have to go, when it's opposition, you're trying to implement. I just want to make sure too that the bar doesn't get changed when we're talking about black women holding that seat. And I do think that happened. The bar got changed in the situation of the Chicago Sky. This is not about coming for Tyler Marsh's head. This is about the Sky franchise. Spoon was hired by the Chicago Sky October 12, 2023. She was fired September 26, 2024. That was less than a year. And if you actually look at WNBA seasons and like when she actually had time with the team, she had about 6 months with the franchise and with the players. It's a sign of a turbulent organization. If you fire a coach after 6 months, you never gave them a real chance. Since they won that championship in 2021, they've had 4 coaches. So that's 4 coaches in 4 years. That's just a lot of turnover. Okay, the bar changed though, because Spoon finished 13-27. And even still, she had the support of franchise players. Angel Reese, other players were vocal about her. This season's team of the Sky, led by Tyler Marsh, finished even worse. 10-34. They tied for last. The results were worse. They also missed the playoffs. And obviously, at the end of the season, there was a lot of dysfunction. Why was 13-27 for Spoon not acceptable, but 10-34 for another coach is? Why did the bar change? I feel that has to be called out. Why wasn't Spoon given a second season of continuity to implement and grow her system? We've got to keep an eye on that and call that out.
She's breaking her silence on the WNBA's coaching carousel this offseason and isn't holding back. The league made 5 head coaching hires, and none were black women. In fact, 3 of the 5 have direct NBA connections, sparking a major conversation about diversity, opportunity, and who truly built the foundation of the WNBA.
There's a new trend in the WNBA, a new pipeline for head coaches. It's the NBA. Friday, the New York Liberty announced that they chose to hire Golden State Warriors assistant Chris DeMarco as their next head coach. Now, what does this mean in the big scheme of things? Well, here are the pros. In my opinion, the ultimate goal is always for people to realize that basketball is just basketball, no matter who is playing, whether you're in the NBA or the WNBA. It's all good hoops. For a very long time, people thought that the standard for meaningful opportunity in this industry was being associated with the NBA. Trust me, I know this a little bit personally. The list with ties is starting to get super long. Becky Hammon, Natalie Nakase, Nate Tibbetts, Alex Sarama, Sonia Rahman, Tyler Marsh, and now Chris DeMarco. For additional context, there are more coaches in the NBA than there are players in the WNBA. So getting a promotion to head coach in the NBA, especially with how they recycle respected names, probably seems really difficult, nearly impossible. But you know what they say, money talks. With coaches now making well over $1 million, the WNBA is now becoming a destination for opportunity. I'm sure people are noticing that if you're not getting hired from the NBA, you're most likely now coming from college. Lynn Roberts, Carl Semesco, and Jose Fernandez. And this leads me to my cons. It's getting increasingly hard for aspiring coaches or even former players to win from within. Internally, the WNBA has some of the brightest minds. Christy Tolliver, Breon January, Karima Christmas Kelly, Lindsey Harding, who is currently with the Los Angeles Lakers. Entering last season, Noelle Quinn was the only Black female head coach in the entire WNBA. And now the count is at 0. Clearly, all eyes are on the WNBA and its head coaches, but I hope we also never forget.
Here's what sparked all this controversy. The New York Liberty just hired Chris DeMarco, a longtime Golden State Warriors assistant, as their new head coach after firing Sandy Brondello, who had just led the team to a championship. Yes, they won a title and still let her go. While DeMarco is highly decorated, part of 4 Warriors championship teams, and having worked with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and other elite players, making him a strong basketball hire, the decision fueled criticism. This is the 3rd WNBA head coaching hire this offseason, with NBA ties, joining Becky Hammon with the Aces and Natalie Nass with the Golden State Valkyries. Add in names like Nate Tibbetts and Tyler Marsh, and a clear pattern emerges. The WNBA is looking to the NBA for coaching talent instead of promoting from within, raising questions about opportunity, diversity, and who the league truly values.
Love a good unqualified man hire. Woo!
Love it.
I love it. I love it. Here's why I love it. I mean, obviously I'm being sarcastic. I don't love it. This is embarrassing. We're talking about things bigger than a nice person getting an opportunity. An opportunity that he is completely unqualified for.
Right.
Completely unqualified for. And I don't want to hear about the playing. Coaching is an experience that you have to have experience for.
Right.
And we undermine it constantly by these hires. So what really bothers me is every time these unqualified, wildly unqualified hires happen, nobody wants to give it the attention that it deserves when we're talking about Black head coaches.
That's right.
You have no experience, none, 0, none, no experience in college or professionally. And what is the word that we always hear when it comes to Black coaches being hired? Well, they just don't have enough experience.
Yep.
This is why when people start their whole production about, oh, everybody's politically correct now and everybody's so sensitive and you're always complaining about stuff. This, I don't know what's a better example of I can get a beer with this guy than this. This is a good old boys club if I had never seen it.
Right.
And the next time we're talking about this, don't come.
Chennai's criticism is sharp. Entering last season, Noelle Quinn was the only Black female head coach in the WNBA. And now there are none. For a league built on the contributions of Black women who've played and promoted the sport for decades, that's a major issue. She explained the pros. Basketball is basketball, NBA or WNBA, and bringing in NBA coaches can raise the league's profile, especially now that WNBA coaches can earn over $1 million, making it a real destination for top talent. But the cons are serious. It's harder for aspiring coaches and former players to rise from within. The league has brilliant minds like Christy Sides, Tanisha Wright, Pokey Chapman, and Cheryl Reeve, who know the WNBA inside and out. Yet outside hires repeatedly bypass these internal candidates, limiting opportunity and diversity.
An expansion team is named Cavs assistant Alex Sarama, first coach in team history. I just think that the WNBA is a copycat league, and WNBA has had success in coaches that have come from the NBA, but the problem that I have is a lot of the coaches that are going to come from the NBA are not going to be women. And in a league that is all women, I think that the coaching positions are kind of going back to men. And if everything is going towards NBA, do women walking in the door have a fair shot? I'm saying having it be a fair competition for women, and especially women of color, to have an opportunity to coach in the WNBA. And right now we have 0 African-American women that are head coaches. The NBA recognized that problem in the NBA with Black males, and Adam Silver implemented a number of rules and hiring and especially in the process of the interviews and the criteria and all that stuff. And now look, there's a number of men
The discussion about the WNBA's coaching hires raises tough questions about race, opportunity, and priorities. While the league was built primarily by Black women, and the majority of players are Black, none of the 5 recent head coaching hires are Black women. Some critics link this shift to Caitlin Clark and the spotlight on white players, though she isn't responsible for hiring decisions. Her popularity has simply coincided with a change in the league's focus. Clark has undeniably driven unprecedented attention, boosting viewership, attendance, and merchandise sales, but that doesn't excuse sidelining the women who built the league. The WNBA is making business decisions, hiring NBA coaches for credibility, tactical knowledge, and connections that may help teams win and attract casual fans. Yet this approach sidelines qualified internal candidates like Christy Sides, Cheryl Reeve, and former players such as Swin Cash and Taj McWilliams-Franklin, sending a message that WNBA experience alone isn't enough. The New York Liberty situation exemplifies this. Sandy Brondello led the team to a championship, yet the team replaced her with Chris DeMarco, an NBA-connected coach, signaling that NBA ties matter more than proven success. While not necessarily explicit racism, the pattern prioritizes outside validation over the Black women who created and sustained the league. The Caitlin Clark effect brought new fans and money, but if that attention comes at the cost of devaluing the league's founders, it's a troubling trade-off. The conversation highlights the tension between business strategy, mainstream attention, and honoring the Black women who built the WNBA from the ground up. The true pioneers of the WNBA were players like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, and countless others who built the league from the ground up, playing for years when no one was watching, salaries were low, and the league's future was always uncertain. When Chain says, "I hope we never forget who helped pave the way," she's reminding everyone that the WNBA didn't begin with Caitlin Clark going viral. It began with Black women who kept it alive through decades of struggle. Now, as the league gains attention and money, those same women are being passed over for NBA-connected assistants. This offseason, the Liberty hired Chris DeMarco, the Valkyries brought in Natalie Nass, and the Sky tried Tyler Marsh, highlighting a clear pattern. Teams are hiring from outside instead of promoting from within. As a result, talented former players and longtime assistants are shut out, signaling that WNBA experience alone isn't enough. Young Black women considering coaching see this and realize the path to a head coaching role may no longer exist. Many NBA hires haven't even succeeded. Marsh struggled in Chicago, and others struggled to adjust to the WNBA's unique culture, strategy, and challenges. So the question isn't whether the WNBA is racist. It's whether its decisions harm the Black women who built and sustained it for decades. Based on this offseason's hires, the answer is yes. Whether through intentional bias or short-sighted business choices, the effect is the same. An ESPN analyst called out the league for not hiring any Black female head coaches this season, exposing uncomfortable truths about who the WNBA values now that mainstream attention and money have arrived. The league faces serious questions about its priorities.